There's hardly a person alive who's... Hold on a second. Just gotta take this text. Anyway, there's hardly a person alive whose life is not affected in some way, shape, or form by electronics. We will see how electronics affect our daily lives, and I'm going to show you how the dependence on those electronics can affect people in a negative way. I will show you why we should lessen that dependence and how we can occupy our time with more positive, healthier alternatives. Let's start with how electronics affect us negatively. Our lives are affected by electronics on a daily basis. Neil Postman, who wrote Amusing Ourselves to Death, Public Discourse in the Age of Show Business, states that our attention spans are decreasing as our dependence on electronics increases. He did a study that shows that in 1968, our attention span for politics was up to 43 seconds, as opposed to now it's down to like 8 seconds. It also reduces our capacity for human interaction. Most people, when they get on a bus, are sitting in a place where they need to wait for a long amount of time. Instead of picking up a conversation, they will resort down to their MP3 player, putting in their headphones and totally ignoring their environment, or they'll just look at their iPhone. It also decreases the ease of finding solutions. There's a dependence on Google, or to try to find the easy out to solving a problem, as opposed to just using your own willpower, your own brain. You've seen how electronics have affected us negatively. Now let's look at why we should change our habits. There are several reasons why we should change. Surfing the internet could cause a sense of instant gratification. A study shows that the average person spends less than a minute per web page. A person who does this on a frequent basis will pardon me. A person who does this on a frequent basis will get that sense of instant gratification, and normal everyday tasks which take a long amount of time will seem dull and boring if they're not finished immediately. It also creates a decrease in interpersonal skills. A person will clam up when facing someone face to face, and in face-to-face communication, and not present themselves in a more positive way. It also could create a way. It also lets you get into a rut, and the cognitive functions tend to decrease. Your brain is like a muscle. It needs to exercise every day. If it just does the same things over and over again, your problem-solving skills will start to decrease. You've heard why we should change. I will provide some examples for some productive alternatives. Most Americans spend 1 to 3 hours a day with electronic devices in their spare time. Instead of coming home and logging in and seeing what the Johnsons are up to on Facebook, go out for a walk and just exercise yourself. Many people neglect good exercise, which can down the road lead to further complications. A worst case scenario would be obesity, heart disease, or joint problems. You can also exercise your brain in experiencing new things. You could take a different way home from work. When you experience new things, your brain works like it never has, and this will help with problem solving and open up areas of brains that you haven't used in a long time. Just when you go into a room and you're with people and you feel like you're closed in and claustrophobic, just put down the iPhone, put down the MP3 player, take the earphones out, meet new people. You never know. A stranger that you talk to, if you talk to him about a problem, he could give you a new perspective from a fresh set of eyes. You can also share stories, experience things that you've never be able to experience or could never experience, and take on the wisdom from an older generation. You can make a new friend on the bus. You could be friends for a lifetime. Now that you've heard of some of the alternatives, let's review all the main topics. There are some negative aspects of spending so much time with electronics. We've seen how electronics play a part in our daily lives. We've also seen how they can affect us negatively, and what we can do to improve our habits. Electronics are irrevocably integrated into our daily lives. I don't think they should be taken out completely, but just used in moderation. we should use our electronics. They shouldn't run our lives.